Welcome back, folks, to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast. In today's show, we have an old friend with a new idea. That's right, Tom Butters back in studio talking about his latest project, the Lighting Agora. We're going to get into that a little bit in a second, among other things, I guess, Greg? But before we do, Greg, we got to tell these folks about some crazy people. The craziest people in lighting. That's right, tcpi.com, led by Ellis. They're all nuts. But they sure as heck make good products, Greg.
That's right, and something unique that has just come out is their QTL series product. And they have a number of different fixtures, but the one I want to highlight is a V-shaped aisle lighter. Why V-shaped? Because when you're in an aisle, you want to get the light to hit the racks and down. So they've got a nice V-shape that does that, and it also gives you a little uplighting, so no cave effect. A lot of those aisles, they just have a straight down light, shoot down at the floor. This thing floods the aisle, floods the racks, gives you a little uplight. Makes it look light in there. That's what you want. You want your warehouse aisle speed light. Check out their V-shaped aisle lighter.
I love the integration with the occupancy sensors and that they have with that product as well. You got to go to tcpi.com. That's right. Longtime members of the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. Come on, folks. Get associated. Get educated. Go to naild.org where we all make it happen. Come on. You know you want to do it. You do. But right now, what's up, Tom Butters?
Hey, Michael. Good to have you here. Good to be here, man.
Yeah,
Thank
back
you.
in studio again.
Yeah.
Say hi to Greg Ehrich.
Greg, I look forward to seeing you in person soon.
Yeah, we got to get something going for sure. Good to see you, though.
Yeah, pleasure's mine.
I like it.
So I had a sneak peek of the Lighting Agora.
Right.
And I know that producer Scott is going to blend that into the video here so people can see the website. Why now? Why the Lighting Agora? What are you guys trying to do over there?
I decided when I left the IS, I wanted to see what I wanted to do, and I made a list of stuff that what do I enjoy doing in the industry, what I don't enjoy doing in the industry. And the one thing that I really enjoy in the industry is helping people with their lighting education. And I really love facilitating the need with an expert. So I came up with this idea for the Lighting Agora. It's a consortium of independent consultants. So people would come to the Lighting Agora for any of their lighting needs, and we'd be able to facilitate them to whoever will be able to do the job the best.
And so you're aiming for... So you go ahead, Greg. Yeah, go.
The name, I just want to, because that's kind of right at the beginning, Agora.
Agora.
That's a fancy term.
Well, I don't know if it's a fancy term. It's an old Greek term. The agora, it was the meeting place in ancient Greece where people would come, and it was like a marketplace, but also people would go and learn and exchange ideas and that. So I thought that's exactly what we want to accomplish with the Lighting Agora, is that coming together, gathering part, and having people with expertise help people who have a need in whatever it is. I mean, we have marketing, research people involved, mailing, Fong. So we got a pretty interesting base. This is just the beginning. We're just launching this week, and we hope to build bigger and better.
Is it a soft launch, or are you coming out hot?
We had a soft launch. I guess the soft launch aspect was when I changed my my job on LinkedIn. And then we'll see, get so much people coming in. Oh, that's a soft launch. But no, we had a press release. Yes, it came out yesterday. So it's an official launch. No?
It's an official launch.
Yeah.
So who's in the stable to start off?
Oh, a whole bunch of nobodies and has-beens, and I'm really just joking.
Number
with that.
one, Tom Butters.
Oh yeah, well. Yeah, exactly. I would never be in a group that allows me to be a member. So I think it's Groucho Marx. Well, myself, Dan Blitzer. Mm-hmm. So you guys are very familiar, I think, with Dan Blitzer, renowned lighting educator. Jerry Cornwell, who's very renowned for teaching LC study groups. Mm-hmm. He's in Grimsby, Ontario. Mei Ling Fong is formerly from Signify and Axis for doing marketing and marketing research. Mm-hmm. She's out of Montreal. And then an old buddy of yours, Shane Skwarek,
Yes.
who does all the IES webinars and stuff.
You know, Shane was interesting. He was the one that put on the IES virtual conference last year. I think he did a great job on that, and so yeah, that's a good stable. Right now, are you looking for customers right now? Or are you looking to add to that stable of consultants you have there, or is it just anything at the moment?
Well, it's both. I'm on the reason why I can come here in person is I was just at a hopeful client, Improve Canada. They work with Mike Holmes. It's a standalone, almost like a light fare for do-it-yourselfers,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a permanent place. And we noodled some ideas together, and I think we're going to be able to get them be in partnership with them at some point. But that's like more a customer. But we are looking to increase what our portfolio is, increase our services. So the idea is for companies who are just starting out or companies that don't have a ton of revenue, that if they just need to have a consultant to come in and help them for this time,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's education or marketing or webinars or strategy, anything like that.
New companies, why not go after the existing ones?
Oh,
There's a lot of them out there that need a new
100%.
strategy, Greg.
Well, I don't want. I may have smoked. I didn't mean to pigeonhole just new companies. But
Sure.
I mean, anyone who needs us. If you need us, if you need anything lighting, you can call Lighting Agora. We know who to get in touch
So
with.
before we throw it over to Greg, I know he's got a couple questions for you, but you kind of hid behind that IES banner while you were working there. Like a lot of people from the outside looking in they knew you were the director of education, but you came out with a lot of good things while you were in that job.
Thank you.
Tell me tell the listeners some of the things that you were directly responsible for while you were at the IES.
Well, thank you. I appreciate those kind words. Again, it's never just one person. It's always a team. So I was always part of a fabulous team. I think the first large project that we did was we came out with the Ready Reference app.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the free app on the IES Ready Reference app, free app on any of your app stores, Google Play or iTunes. That I worked with FX Moran on that, and that was quite an accomplishment, I think. Worked with Dan Blitzer and Brianne Musselman now. She's the new director of the IES, a fabulous hire, so I mean, really smart. And so the three of us worked on Intro to Lighting, so it's an online introductory to lighting course on the e-learning platform, the IES e-learning platform. So many things. It's 4 years. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. Oh, I created the Light for Life webinar series. So we reached out to other like organizations globally to put on a lot of seminars and webinars.
Sometimes Greg and I
Nice.
point at each other to mean that he's up, so don't mean that I'm telling you to stop talking.
No. Yeah, you keep laying them out, Tom. What else you got? You did the convention, I thought. One of the conventions.
Well, we always did. I always helped a little bit. That's a committee that does all the IES conferences, and then those people are all volunteers, and they do an incredible, amazing job. So, if you haven't been to an IES conference, I strongly recommend that you go to it. But I did do a little bit of things behind the scenes, and to comment on what you said. I like being a bit behind the scenes. This is not like this is a little bit out of my comfort zone. I like more or less being the director than being a movie star or an actor.
Well, I suppose that's where you and I diverge.
Well, we all have to do what we do well, right?
So you know, there's a lot of lighting education out there now. Now, this Improved Canada thing sounds more like a technical gig for you rather than a pure lighting gig, or is it lighting that you're focused on with them?
Again, we haven't really finalized what we would do, but there's a few ideas. And Adam, if you're listening, here are the ideas I'm going to be sending to you. Put on a little bit of a do-it-yourself lighting course, how to design lighting or what to look for in lighting.
That's more difficult than it seems. Actually.
It is. It's really quite difficult. But nowadays, because of the proliferation of LEDs in the marketplace, people are more aware of lighting now than they've ever been, and that helps us out quite a bit. We'll be doing webinars for them, so branded webinars, like Improve Canada by Lighting Agora type thing, but it'll be Improve Canada webinar, and that's what we offer any of our prospective clients. We would do custom webinars branded in your brand. So a nailed webinar.
Right.
Well,
So do you,
Greg, come
do you
on,
envision
man.
a lot of these are a lot of these are going to be project based then, or is it going to be an ongoing? Are you going to say we're going to tackle this one, get that done, then move on to the next, or where do you see that going?
That's a fabulous question, and I think in the beginning it's got to be project based, and then we hopefully have reoccurring work. The best thing was if we could do a few monthly webinars with a few customers, just to always have something there, and then we work on specific projects. But the Lighting Agora, everybody's has a lot of empathy, and the idea is to listen to the customer. What do you think your lighting needs are? What do you want to do? What are your lighting goals? Who are your target audience? And we'll use our expertise in trying to make suggestions to the client. So it's pretty much, if you have an idea of doing something from an education base or marketing base, but you're not sure how to approach it, you can come to us.
You know what's interesting about that, Greg? He mentioned how, who are you talking to? And we launched our LS Evolve program. I think it was in October last year, Greg? Something like that.
Yeah,
So
October 2020. Yep.
all it is 5 to 10 minute videos on a specific topic by an expert.
Right.
Okay. And you know how hard it is to get those experts to speak to distributors?
Yeah, it's yeah.
Do you understand? Like because a lot of them, talking about HCL, for example, they'll start talking as if they're speaking to the person who's going to be under the lights and why they should be buying human-centric lighting systems or whatever. And I'm like, okay, we got to do a recut. Why? Because you're talking to the guy who's selling this, or the person who's selling it, not the person who's going to be using it.
Right.
You've already convinced them. They're not unconvinced at this point. You need to teach them what they need to know to be able to sell these kinds of light fixtures and lighting systems to the people that you're trying to talk to in your webinar. The focus or the tone, I don't know what the right word for that is. It's almost like the tense or something of who you're speaking to is very difficult to get right.
I see that, and I agree with you. However, I have over 25 years doing exactly that. So when I used to work at the Lighting Concept Center, we would have engineers in one day, and we'd have distributors in another day, and we'd have architects in another day. You need to speak to these people, to their needs. So you have to have that empathy, and that's why I use that word empathy that all of us at the Lighting Agora have, is you have to be aware of what their needs are and what they need to know. It's not going to help for me to tell you what I know, because you don't care. It doesn't matter what I know. How does what I know help you do your job? Whether it do your job for and earn a higher revenue, whether it's do your job and it's done quicker, whether you do your job and because have this knowledge, you can now do it with more confidence. It's that type of thing that the Lighting Agora is going to strive to accomplish.
You know who comes to mind, Greg? You remember Mark Jewell?
Yeah.
Like there's a guy, he does that selling energy course. I don't know if you've encountered it in your travels through the industry at all, but he has that very focused education on selling energy efficiency and how to do it. And I don't know if you've put any people through it, Greg, but that's that idea of what is it that I know that I should teach you, that will be able to help you do your job better, faster, more efficiently, get more sales, be more authentic with what you're selling, whatever it is, Greg. How is it that, when it comes to your transition from the IES into the Lighting Agora, how are you guys going to engage the industry to be able to use your services? Are you going to reach out to people? Are you going to start making calls, or are you just going to advertise?
Well, we're reaching out. It's a relationship business, as I'm sure both of you are very well aware of. I am sitting here because I reached out to two people I have a lot of respect for, and so I came here, and this is what I'm doing. And I just came from another place, the Improve Canada. I met Vadim 6 years ago when he was starting the Improve Canada. And so I reached out to him. So it's going to start by reaching out. Even though we just launched yesterday, we finished our first project last Friday, and that was done by a referral. So someone heard what we were doing and putting together, so they gave a referral to a company in Milwaukee. I don't know if Phoenix Lighting. Thank you, Phoenix Lighting. And so I did a half-hour education segment, 7 consecutive Fridays for them. And so that was from a referral, but it is reaching out. I mean, the advertising, if you put it out, someone has to see it. Whether I'm making phone calls to people saying, we have this thing, this new consortium. I think you can benefit from it, because I'm a win-win person. No matter what happens, it has to be both sides are satisfied.
Now, you're using the word we, and I get that, but you have a team of consultants that you're going to hire when needed, I assume. So
Yes.
Is there somebody else that's getting after it with you on a daily basis that's really promoting it?
No, not yet. That's wrong. I mean, Mei Ling Fong, who's our market research and marketing specialist, she's been working hard and diligently working on our LinkedIn page and sending things out. But again, we just started. Nothing was transpiring until yesterday. But and you guys, you're doing it now. This is exactly what's happening. You guys, because I have good friends in the industry, I'm reaching out to my friends and
we're going to send you the invoice after.
Yeah, good. I'll give you a percentage of what I've charged here.
Right. Who do you feel is your ideal customer? I know that it can range, but if you had to pick one.
Oh, I don't want to alienate anybody. So whoever has a lighting need. I mean, we can do tutoring. If you're writing an exam or you're doing the LC NCQLP test, we've got a lot of experience in teaching. The course that I just finished was very specialized to Phoenix Lighting. They wanted this, and this. Now the IES does a fabulous job of their fundamentals is excellent. The online course for the IES is absolutely excellent. However, that's very general. It's a general education, and it's fabulous, and you need that. You need that kind of base. But after that, then there's not a lot of people trying to augment that or to fill in those gaps. Like we're almost like mortar, going in and filling the gaps needed.
And it's disparate too. It's actually difficult to find educational developers that have a background in lighting. You can ask the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors about that.
And sorry, I left you guys out, but yeah, your courses too are excellent.
Yeah, thank you. LS1 is similar to what you were talking about with the IES. It's sort of a broad sweep of everything, and then you got to teach your people what you do in your company.
Exactly.
Does the lighting industry need education more than ever, Tom, or is it are you picking at the end of this game?
Without a shadow of a doubt, that's one of the easiest questions I think I've ever been asked, and it's never been more dire to make sure that you get a lighting education. It used to be. I mean, I always use this one quote from a lighting designer, and it's. I was trying to explain to her actually LEDs, how LEDs work, and that, and lumens and all of that, and she stopped me in the group and said, "You know what? We all know what 50 watts of light looks like." So it was like lighting was simple. So 50 watts is only incandescent, so you knew what 50 watts, how many lumens 50 watts generated. But with LED, there's so many questions that you need just from technology perspective. LEDs, like, okay, what is their life? Their life is this, but are you driving it to reach that life, or are you driving it harder so you get more efficacy and more lumens? There's all of that you need to. There's so many questions that you need to be able to ask. Science-wise, look at GUV, germicidal ultraviolet information that's coming through, and what's right and what's wrong, right? Circadian rhythm.
Can that question even be answered?
Well, I think it can be answered, but it's not going to be answered. It's not necessarily going to be answered by you or myself. It's going to be answered by scientists who study specifically that. And that's something that the Lighting Agora can do, is through our network and knowing people, we would get the experts. I mean, I can tell you a summary of GUV. I can tell you a summary of of circadian rhythms, right? But I'm not necessarily the expert. I'm an educator. I'm the person that tells people this. We can get the experts, the ones that are doing the research, the scientific research, to be able to help. So yeah,
Now, your
it's really,
background.
yes, sir.
Oh, sorry, Tom. Your background. You came from you were the Signifier Philips Lighting Training Center, and when I started in lighting, I went to GE Lighting Training Center, and there used to be all these options. Is that whole platform going away? Are they even doing lighting training centers anymore at manufacturers?
They aren't. I did just 2 years ago. I did a presentation showing lighting education facilities in North America, and I'm not going to have the exact number here, but it will give you an idea. In just one company in 2006 had 28 education facilities throughout North America. 3 years ago, they had 4. Now they
Wow.
have 0. And you can guess what company that is, but they're closing up the brick and mortar stuff.
Yeah, it's like in the past, GE, Sylvania, and Phillips would donate. I think it was 10 grand each a year towards nailed educational programs on top of their own.
Right.
Like think about that. That's gone. Like that support from to the industry by the major players is one of the great losses of losing them. Actually,
Right.
you know, the white papers GE would put out on different subjects, like that's gone. Well, I'm not saying it's all gone, but their effect as being leaders in that realm. If you pull out an old Philips catalog, I have a bunch of them here.
Yeah.
It's half of it's education,
Yes.
you know, and research. And you just don't, I don't even know how you get, I mean, I got my lighting education by reading those catalogs literally in 1999 and 2000, literally reading
Same
the
here.
catalogs. And
Yeah.
then, you know, I went to GE's Nella Park.
Nella Park. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, so I think that there's a huge deficit in education combined with a massive change in technology. It's a recipe for disaster, Greg Ehrich.
But also, I'm sorry if I didn't mean to interrupt. But it's also the science, what's happening with the physiological aspects of light and the effect of light on our cells. That science is picking up. So not only is the technology for LEDs picking up, but the idea of like how light affects us adversely and positively, and people are understanding that more and more, but not in the trenches.
Here's what I would say to that. You ready for this one?
Ready?
Electric light affects us negatively. Period.
I'm not sure you can say that.
Yeah, I mean,
I know you can, but I'm not sure I
or
would.
it's benign. Okay, and what's needed is the elimination of electric light at night.
Well,
That would capture.
at night. You're talking different. I mean,
No,
during the day.
I'm
During
not
the day,
talking
I'm
about
saying,
anything different. No, let me finish my point
Okay.
here. We know that we can hurt people with light, and we've known it for a long time. You can just go to any casino,
Mhm.
and they'll tell you that if you shine white light in someone's eyes,
Yep.
they'll give you their paycheck. Okay, so we've known this for a long, long time, and what we're trying to discover now is that we've proven that scientists have now proven what casinos have known for decades.
Mhm.
And now they're trying to say, well, can we take this negative and turn it into a positive? And what I'm here to tell you, Tom, is that all the research is saying is that the most important part of any circadian, HCL, whatever you want to call it, is the restoration of darkness at night. And if you
don't
don't
have an argument with me
do
there.
that, you lose all of the gains you may have had
Right.
from the HCL, that you're the circadian stimulus, 0.3, 0.6, whatever it is. If you don't restore natural darkness, then you and you lose everything. And final point to that is all of the gains from HCL are extensions of better sleep.
Well, a lot of them are. I mean, you do need light. I think there's a place for artificial light. In this room here, for instance, we don't have this. The sun's not coming in, but you definitely need darkness when it's darkness. I have blackout drapes. I make sure that I'm always like total darkness, because the thing with lighting is, and this is why that's why it's so dangerous, and you need education. Is now we're understanding that light is like medicine. But we've got people who don't know anything about medicine, about light, practicing this.
Sure.
Whereas you need the right dose at the right time for the right duration. That's the key, and most people just don't even realize that that's an issue. But you do need light for a certain amount of time at a certain intensity with certain spectral power distribution attributes during the day.
Or you need to go outside for half an hour.
That helps.
No, that's it.
Yeah, but not on it. That would help in a beautiful day like we have today. Yes, it would.
Yes.
But on an overcast day, you'd have to stay up for longer.
Here, I do another podcast, as you know, called Starving for Darkness,
Yeah.
and what we've discovered on that in that journey with Jane Slade, Greg, is that actually sunglasses do more harm than good. Think about that for a while, and the marketing that's gone on with sunglasses from all the major Luxottica and I just bleep that out, but whatever, from all these brands for all these years. In fact, sunglasses actually cause more harm. Now, there are certain people that should use sunglasses as a prophylactic to protect their eyes, but that's not most people.
Well, also, I mean, you have to make sure that the sunglasses have, whether you like sunglasses or don't like sunglasses, they need to have the special protection. I mean, you have to have ultraviolet protection, because if you don't have any UV protection in your sunglasses, what you're doing is you're fooling the eye to think that it's not as bright out. Your eyes then get larger, your pupils enlarge, and more light comes in. And if you're having ultraviolet coming in, it's going to do more damage.
Stop buying your sunglasses at the dollar store, Michael Colligan. But no, the other thing is that
or the gas stations. Don't buy them at gas stations.
yeah, but no, but the fact is that not allowing natural light to get in your eyes is bad for you, actually. Bottom line. But yes, all this education that we're seeing, that we've lost the big three in terms of their educational output, and we've seen a transition now from traditional sources to, and we were just talking to PNNL and the DOE yesterday, Greg, about this, and that we're at the end of the beginning of the LED lighting boom.
Yes, I would totally agree with that. And now it's the light and science time.
No, I'm not interrupting you. I'm just telling him he's going to ask the next question, Tom.
I know, I got it. that time I understood. I was going to stop right there.
Okay, good.
No, I wanted you to continue on with it, but yes, that's a good point Mike brought up. In a lot of this stuff, and you know, you have a ton of experience, Tom. Michael and I have talked to a lot of people too. We were starting to understand that, you know, certain light is different. Some is good, some is bad, whatever. But how do we get the people that are actually buying it to care? You know, I mean, you can teach us, and we can try to sell it to our customer and teach them. But at the end of the day, if they don't care, they're not going to buy the right stuff. How do we got to shift that model around?
Well, you just have to make it important to them. What the lighting industry should really do is try to go and speak and pick the brains of the office furniture manufacturers who did such a great job of the ergonomics of a chair. Oh no, you have to have this chair. It's got to protect your back and everything like this. And so people go out there and they have to spend, you know, I spend $900 on this chair. Well, you can get this chair. It's only $100. Well, does it have this? They've done a good job of educating people, because it's basically the same thing. A good product is more expensive than a cheap product, a lousy product.
Herman, what's that company called? Herman, the chair manufacturer. Herman Miller or something like that. Yeah. Well, here's what the big problem is, Tom, and Greg, you're gonna get a kick out of this one. The problem is that the lighting industry has such a history of snake oil, and then you combine that with Johnny Come Lately and the lighting marauders, okay, that are always entering this business, and you know they don't care. They come in. We've done podcasts with people where they've made extraordinary claims about products, and you ask them, "How long have you been in lighting?" 2 years. Oh, 2 years, eh? Yeah, you know everything now, do you? So, but I mean, the problem with this is that HCL and Circadian is actually developing. People have an idea, and I know the Lighting Research Center and what Mariana Figueroa has done with, you know, it's pretty simple. But the fact is that most of the people making these claims are not going to that website and entering the information. They're just sales guys swinging through the trees with their knife in their teeth, Greg, Ehrich, and that's causing, that problem has existed in lighting for the entire time I've been in it. And from what my dad has told me, it's always been there.
It's always been there. Yeah, absolutely.
Greg, like, what do we do about that?
Yeah,
How do we address that? I mean, the market, like, I mean, the marketing on the side of boxes, and you look at this, and it's like, yes, it impacts your circadian rhythm. Like, it's like, what are you talking about? You're in Home Depot. That's not possible without some controls or without some things. How do we? What you're talking about, Greg, is not education. You're talking about awareness creation with the general public.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with awareness. There's no doubt about that. I mean, just for instance, as you know, I've come from a past working for a large manufacturer. I tried my darndest to talk to marketing and say, look, we need to explain what CRI and CCT is on our cartons, and they said, no, we don't want to confuse the buyer. So that's why you get warm white and daylight when you go to your place to buy light bulbs.
That's why you get inches and
See,
miles in the
I said
United
light
States.
bulbs for you, Mike.
Yeah,
I said light bulbs.
That's why you get inches and miles, though, in the U.S., Tom.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult for people to change these metrics or things that they understand. I mean, you talk to somebody like that drives the United States, they come to Canada, they have no idea how far something is away from them. Right. And they see kilometers. Like, it's just like, oh, God, where are the miles? And he said, well, actually, kilometers makes a lot more sense, and here's why, and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? Every contractor in Ontario, even though when they went to school, they were taught millimeters and decimeters and centimeters and kilometers, they still build in inches and feet. Have you noticed that?
Right. Well, how tall are you? Right, we still use feet, right?
I'm 5'7".
Yeah, right. I mean, but that's it. It's odd because we're Canada. We've been in the metric system. Like, how many centimeters are you? Like, see, it's like
no, it doesn't work.
We talk, and we don't talk about we still talk about how heavy we are in pounds.
Sure,
right.
And in some places they talk about stones. You know, Greg, these metrics. I think they should. I think that the lighting industry, although I think the work that PNNL doing with Jessica Collier is very interesting, I think changing metrics or the names of metrics is very, very difficult. They're so sticky.
I hear you.
You know, it's so sticky.
But back to your point about education and the need for education now more than ever is because if you just have two choices on color temperature, warm and cool, like there's a variety, like a huge variety, and LEDs you can pinpoint it to a very specific recipe of spectral power distribution. So people just have to be. It's going to be buyer beware. Like if you don't know the information, then you can be hosed. All those people that you were talking about earlier, like coming into the industry and like snake oil sales. If you don't understand, you are going to buy snake oil.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And snake oil is usually like that's away from the old west, right? And they used water that had been filtrated through a horse.
Mm-hmm. Filtrated through so it's horse piss.
Yeah.
It's not snake oil; it's horse piss. But you know, here but it's not just the newbies, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
100%, yes.
You know, you've seen how quickly everybody's not talking about 10-year warranties anymore. I mean, that was the hottest thing since Sunburn, man. And now it's like everybody, if you go to any of the big guys' companies' websites, they have 5-year warranties now. Mm-hmm. And there's one out there, I'm not going to say any names, there's one out there that's got a 10-year warranty, but that's like a buy it 3 times warranty. If you buy our $1,100 light fixture, you get a 10-year warranty.
Got it.
But if you buy our $200 light fixture, it's a 2-year warranty, and our $300 light fixture is a 3-year warranty, and our $500 light fixture is a 5-year warranty. So, you know, the industry has got a lot more realistic.
Yeah, of course.
On the big side, but there was a time when everybody had drank the Kool-Aid in this game, Greg.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, Tom, what is the long-term goal of the Lighting Agora? What are you looking for?
Well, I'd like it to pay my bills. No, I don't know how serious. That's such a short term. I'd like us to grow. I'd like us to grow to a large consortium, a large conglomeration of independent people. I'd love us to be when someone needs something in lighting, that they'll come to us for ideas, suggestions, or in education or marketing or business strategy and that. We want to help people is really what we want to do, and I mean, the more we get out there and the more we help people, I'm going to tell you, I, I, I got an email back from one of the people that I've been doing training for. And he said, I use that equation that you taught us. So it's the inverse square law equation. Because he had a customer on the phone and he had to find out, well, which luminaire is going to do the job at this height.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught him the inverse square law. He said he couldn't believe how easy it was and how much confidence he had in being able to tell the customer, this is the product that's going to do the job. So it's stuff like that. It's much more than any type of financial gain. It's the people who come back to you and say, you know what, you made my life easier. You helped my life. And that's really what I hope we get to do and get to as many people as possible.
And just to finish it up, Craig, I don't think we need to sell snake oil. I know that a lot of people out there, they want to make outrageous claims. And if you're listening to the Get a Grip on Lighting podcast, which you should every week if you're in the industry, but now it's like 3 times a week, so maybe not every episode. But, I really think that it's time for us to measure up to what we're doing and why we're doing it as an industry, soul search, and then really provide people with solutions that work for them. That starts with educating your people. That starts with the industry becoming educated, coming to understand these technologies. And you know who's got this technology down, Greg, Ehrich?
I could guess.
Whew, they're pretty crazy. It's the craziest people in lighting. You got to go to tcpi.com. I know I tricked you guys right into the ad, but hey, that's how it goes. I love what TCP is doing. They're always coming out with great new products, and also very simple, Greg. Very simple.
That's right.
And direct. I love that V fixture they're using for the aisleways. What a great idea.
Yeah, V-shaped aisle lighter, the QTL series. It's 90 plus CRI as well, and the R9 greater than 5. So they're not just putting up any light or glare bomb. They're putting light where it needs to go down an aisle and angling it the right way. And a little uplight too, so no cave effect. Check it out.
Come on, man. Don't get crazy with me today. You got to go to tcpi.com, longtime nailed member. Long time, man. I think 30 years or something like that. You got to go to NILD.org. Get associated, get educated. That's right, education. We got lots of great programs down there. We have LS1, which I have 2 people or 3 people right now taking. We have LS Evolve, which my people all binged on. And we got LS2 and more coming out hot. Some special secret sauce coming down by the end, hopefully by the end of the year. And of course, Tom Butters with the Lighting Agora. You got to go to lightingagora.com.
That's it.
lightingagora.com for Tom Butters and his peeps that are going to help you create educational programs, consulting, a bunch of other things. Check it out. Thank you for listening.